Hey, so while I have you, I was going to show you what I'm making for dinner too. So here we go. I'm gonna do some black-eyed peas with cabbage, and I'm adding a little bit of skirt steak into it for my husband. And then I'm also gonna make a big pot of miso soup, and that's just gonna be to have throughout the week. So, alrighty. Spray my slow cooker with Pam. And then I'm gonna add the skirt steak. I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable broth. Gonna give the meat a little bit of a salt. And add some jalapenos. Going to scatter these little jalapenos all over the meat. Now that that's done, I'm just going to put the top on. And I'm going to put it on high. I'm going to plug it in probably, that'll maybe help me. Now I'm going to put it on high, and it'll probably take 2 hours to get really tender. And so that's part one of the evening. Okay, husband, you're distracting me.
Is it my good looks?
Yes, it's your good looks. 12 years. It's his good looks. So now for the beans and cabbage. I'm gonna first spray with Pam in my Instant Pot, which is my favorite thing ever. Then we are going to add the rest of the broth that we had cracked open for the skirt steak. Plus I'm gonna fill this little container up with like 3/4 of the way with water and add that also. So I'm going to add the black-eyed peas. And then some salt and some garlic powder. Huh?
The point is to be together until 12.
Be together until 12. Kiss him, and then yay, hooray, it's a new year. Oh, I wonder if I'll make resolutions this year. I don't know. I probably won't. And then come home.
I don't think that
There are
conversation
drinkers
happens
out
so
tonight.
fast.
Not only are there drinkers, there are amateur drinkers out tonight. Do not make me tackle you and keep you home. I will. You're small.
Why can't I stay there if it is that big?
Play in your evening. Play in your evening, girl. It's 6 o'clock. Get to stepping. I love you.
Oh, that's not. Don't come at me with a knife, please.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm going to ignore my daughter right now. And
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. I'll see you in 6.5 hours.
Maybe.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you.
Stop looking at me.
I love you.
I just want you to know that you have to put this in the video. She's crazy. She kills me sometimes. And then
I have never once killed her. She is. Come here so they can see you're not dead. Come on.
I'm right there.
Come on.
Can they not see
No
me?
one can
That's
see you.
odd, because I'm right there.
Bye. I love you. Okay, so you're gonna cut up these onions real chunky like. Okay, so I washed this cabbage really well with my vinegar spray, but I'm also gonna take off a couple of the outer leaves. And then I'm just gonna cut the stem off. And then I'm going to cut big chunks off. This may not be the right way to do it. In fact, I need to sharpen my knife. In fact, it's probably not the right way to do it, but it's still the way we're gonna do it. Also some white pepper. Some more salt over the top. And a little bit more garlic powder. Like so. Then just pop the top on. And then we're just gonna put it on pressure cook for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I have a lot of kids over here. I always have a lot of kids. Please forgive me. Okay, I've got a bunch of carrots now and I'm gonna chop them up and add them to 20 cups of water that I have in this bowl. I'm adding 3 cups of carrots to my water mixture because I really like a dense soup. I think hearty soups are so delicious. I'm gonna add it to the water and I'm gonna start it on medium-high heat. Okay, so as soon as I added the carrots to the water, I realized 20 cups was too much, so I scooped 4 cups out, so 16 cups of water. And I added the same 3 cups of carrots, and now I'm going to add some kale. I'll measure it out and let you know. Just make sure with kale that you cut out the stems because they are very bitter. So just cut out the leafy part. And throw this bad boy away. Okay, and my kale ended up being like 4.5 cups. And so I'm gonna toss that in now. Then I'm gonna cut up some celery and add that, and also some green onion. I just have 2 of these little stalks of green onion. So I'm gonna add that, but also, if you don't know this trick, you can cut off the little ends of your onion, dig a little hole in with your finger, and then put the little stalk in, and then just pat the dirt right back around it. And then it will grow up and you can just cut off what you need as you go along. Okay, and I'm also adding 3 cups of celery. I'm also gonna take a little piece of ginger that I cut the outside skin off of, and I'm going to grate it and add that. And I'm also gonna almost slice my finger off. It's shredded about this much ginger, like maybe half of a tablespoon. I'm gonna drop that in and give it a good stir. And then I'm also just going to chop up these green onions and I'll add them. And then I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of miso and let it stir around and dissolve pretty well. So miso is really, really good for you, especially miso that's aged and fermented. It's got a lot of vitamins and minerals, and I found that especially if I'm not feeling well and I have some miso soup, that it really makes me feel good. Then we're gonna use some super firm tofu. I am going to just rinse out the liquid that's in here and rinse the tofu just a tad. So I'm just going to slice this tofu into pretty small little pieces because I only have 1 block and it's a whole thing, kind of big thing of soup. The soup has been gently bubbling this whole time, so I'm just gonna add these. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit because I just want them to absorb some of the flavor. And then I'm gonna turn it off and add the sea vegetables and we'll be done. This is what the soup looks like before we add the sea vegetables. You can see the little pieces of tofu, carrot, celery, the kale. It's looking pretty hearty and delicious. The miso turns it this rich brown color. It's beautiful. These are super good for you. I'm gonna add I added about half of a cup of sea vegetables to my soup. This looks like a lot of soup. You can eat this every day though. It's very, very good for you. But I can also freeze it if it turns out that we have more than we really need. Okay, and here we have our black-eyed peas and cabbage.
Guys, it's gonna be the best. I had it before, right, Mommy?
You sure
And
have.
I ate it all because it was so good.
You're a great eater.
And I didn't want to stop eating.
I just scooped myself a bowl of miso soup and it looks delicious.
Bye, guys.
Bye everyone. Thank you for watching and hanging out with us. Happy New Year's Eve, and we hope that 2019 is an awesome year for you. You say Happy New Year's?
Happy New Year's.
Bye.